Hello, Keith Reinhardt here. For assignment 1 in GEOG 2230, I decided to visually represent my value chain by video presentation. And the commodity I decided to choose is the cotton in Nike socks. I hope you enjoy. The first step in this assignment was also one of the more challenging ones, to determine where exactly the cotton in Nike socks comes from. After viewing various websites, I found a few main countries that grow cotton. These countries include India, Turkey, China, and Sri Lanka. However, after further research, I decided to focus my attention on India. I came across bettercotton.org and discovered the Better Cotton Initiative, which has been working with various retailers, including Nike, to minimize the harmful impact of crop protection practices. Sponsored by a World Wildlife Fund, BCI recognizes the importance of producing safer cotton for the environment. But before I jump too far ahead, let's take a step back. I have determined that Nike does in fact secure some of its cotton from India. So what's next? The cotton is grown on both small and large-scale cotton farms. Then the cotton is harvested manually or mechanically. The cotton is then picked and shipped to various ginneries. After the seeds and fibers are separated at the ginneries, the cotton seeds are sometimes redistributed and sold back to the farmers to be regrown. The fibers are then sold to a spinner to be yarned, and before long, Nike hires contractors around different parts of the world to manufacture their socks. The manufacturer prepares, dyes, and prints the socks according to Nike's standards. Since I'm focusing on India, I feel it's important to note that according to Nike's corporate website, Nike has 29 factories and employs 38,133 workers in India. The site also states that Nike has a total of 896 factories across 47 countries, with most of their factories being in Asia. From this figure, I can make a rough estimate that manufacturers in India account for roughly 3% of all Nike's products. Of that 3%, we can conclude a small portion would account for the cotton socks. Now, only if it were that easy. Before adding more to my value chain, I needed to research NGOs and other institutions involved in the production of cotton Nike socks. As I mentioned earlier in the video, the Better Cotton Initiative is working with many farmers in India promoting the use of organic cotton in an attempt to reduce the amount of pesticides and fertilizers used to grow cotton. According to Nike's responsibility report, Nike brand cotton apparel that includes a minimum of 5% organic cotton has grown from 47% in 2004 to 90% in 2011. BCI aims for Better Cotton to be sold at the same market price as conventional cotton, keeping it reasonable for both Nike and consumers to purchase. BCI is working with 20 to 30,000 farms in India and is actively changing the cotton industry. While scrolling around the BCI website, I then noticed the World Wildlife Fund sponsored the initiative. The WWF, much like the BCI, works with farmers, agencies, and consumers at key stages of the value chain to reduce environmental impact. The Global Exchange is another institution that plays a key role in the production of cotton Nike socks. The Global Exchange has initiated various campaigns, such as the Sweat-Free campaign, which pressured Nike to rethink its manufacturing strategies and to increase labor wages, while improving worker health conditions. Textile Exchange is another nonprofit organization that promotes sustainability across the cotton value chain. Other institutions involved in the production of cotton Nike socks are Greenpeace International and the United Nations FAO Integrated Pest Management. Although it was very difficult to find specific factories that manufacture cotton Nike socks, I did find information on Nakalin Tex and other factories in Mumbai that manufacture socks, but the predominant focus was still on shoes and other designs. According to Global Exchange, Nike does not own any of its factories. Rather, they contract workers to produce their cotton socks in places where there are lower division of labor costs. However, organizations such as Global Exchange are fighting for the human rights of these contractors. According to Nike's responsibility disclosure, Nike said, "We take seriously the federal and international efforts to end all kinds of forced labor, whether in the form of prison labor, indentured labor, bonded labor, human trafficking, or otherwise, through standards set forth in the Code of Conduct originally established by Nike and subsequently adopted by our affiliated companies, including the section, Employment is Voluntary." A media article I found by GreenBiz stated that Nike is making some big changes to how it manages its supply chain. Their quality, cost, and delivery index will now include environmental and labor sustainability. With this, I can now add media influences to my value chain. The biggest challenge or limitation I found while putting together this value chain was certification. Organic certification is somewhat challenging because it requires many players in the cotton value chain. Many times, suppliers or retailers will label the percentage of organic cotton that is in the sock, as it may vary from case to case. Here's what my final value chain looks like. In wrapping up this video, I'd like to say that before I started this assignment, I was completely unaware of all the actors, institutions, places and spaces that were involved in the simple production of a cotton Nike sock. Furthermore, it does take a lot of research to determine where exactly a product comes from. Thanks for watching my video.